Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's concert experience. It's another episode, this time joined by DJ William Reed, resident house DJ of many places in LA. He sits down to talk to us right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There we go. A little Iggy Pop to start us off. And there's a reason. There is.
Man, this guy's a legend, and I'm gonna go see him soon. So
and we're gonna tell you guys about that soon. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's concert experience. My name is Mike Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips, Instagram, all of it. And I'm joined today by a cool dude already. I already could tell. We've been talking for a few minutes. DJ William Reed.
Hey, what's up? Hey, takes one to know one, man.
Hey. I like that. That's all right. So tell the people where they can follow you on social media or wherever.
Yeah, I'm all over Facebook, William Reed, Instagram at William Reed, Twitter.
And we're gonna you'll have that in the handles, but yeah, you can follow him all over. And
all over.
He's all over LA, but he's been a lot of places. So let's talk about that. But this is Iggy Pop, and we just chose that because you're gonna be playing a show headlined by Iggy Pop, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be heading out to Vegas soon for punk rock bowling. I think it's in March.
Okay.
And I should know the dates of this, but
Such a DJ.
The guy's a legend, man, right? And he's old, so who knows how much longer he's going to be touring.
Good point.
Yeah, so I just kind of confirmed the tickets to that one, and I'm really looking forward to that.
And where do people find tickets and anything when they want to get to your show or anything like that? Does it differ? Is it
yeah,
places?
you know what? Generally,
they can find information somewhere, right?
You know what? I post everything. I'm really kind of like social media heavy. So like on my Instagram, I'm always posting. On my Facebook, anywhere really across any channels.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. I got a lot of questions for you.
Shoot.
But first, let's talk about some of your resume. So you've done private events for Moby, Norah Jones, a ton of more people. You work with Calvin Harris, Guns N' Roses, Fantagram. Those were some that I
Yeah. I mean, I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of people, over the years, including a lot of artists and producers that have been inspiring to me for many, many years, even preceding that of when I started DJing. Especially some of the older school, like rock guys, like members of like the Smiths or Joy Division and New Order, or like the Cure, or like from Guns N' Roses. I mean, guys of the Ramones. I mean, that was or the Sex Pistols. That was really, really, really cool. And then on top of that, I mean, it's all the contemporary stuff as well.
And currently, you're based in LA.
That's right. Yeah, I live in Los Angeles.
Don't tell us your
my address.
Yeah. And you have residencies at Harvard and Stone, The Standard, Good Times with Davey Wayne's, Hot Spot, Bar Mama, and a bunch more.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, about 6 nights a week, I'm consistently booked, and then otherwise it's like special events, concerts, private parties, awards kind of show gigs, stuff like that. Yeah.
Does it ever get tiring?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sometimes.
How do you get through it?
You know what?
What kind of drugs?
You know what? I don't do drugs.
Okay, good.
I don't drink caffeine either,
No?
Which is kind of crazy. No, man. I don't use an alarm, and I make sure to get my 8 hours. That's it.
All right, that's
it, man.
The sleep.
That's it. Sleep.
Okay.
Sleep and a good diet helps. I mean, when you're younger, you can kind of like
get away with it.
Get away with junk food and stuff. But as you get a little bit older, and you're working every night and every day and stuff, you gotta take care of yourself at least sometime.
All right. So I like it. Let's start. Give us the background on William Reed.
Wow. As a DJ?
As a DJ.
Yeah.
I mean, you grew up in Germany?
Yeah. I was born in the States.
Okay.
But I grew up in Germany. My father was he's an engineer.
Okay.
And he worked for the government. So, when we were really young, one day we just, hey, we're moving to Germany. And, we're like, okay, cool. Like, what are you going to say to that? You're so young, you don't really know the difference.
Sure.
So we actually lived there twice, man. And that was pretty cool because I was exposed to like, all kinds of different music that I probably would not have been exposed to, growing up in the States at that particular time. Everything from, punk and krautrock and electronic music of like the mid to late 90s, and more. So that was really kind of pivotal in my development as a DJ, for sure.
How do you describe the difference in the music scene, let's say, in Germany or Europe compared to the United States?
That's a really good question, man. And I would have to say, like, electronic music in general was just kind of a standard way of life, at least a decade or two, even,
in Europe.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, you'd be in a restaurant or in a department store, and there would be, like an electronic dance track on. You're like, man, this is pretty cool. And then like 10 years later, you would that wave finally hit the States, and then you would walk into the Gap or something and hear like an electronic music, where like a couple years previously that would be completely unheard of. It was like generic elevator music.
That's true. That's definitely come to America.
Yeah, finally, right?
Yeah, finally. Yeah. So you started at what age?
DJing? Oh, geez. I mean, I was probably around 27, so pretty late in the game.
27. And what was the start? Like, how'd you start?
Man,
did you always want to start, and it just happened?
Never,
or what?
never. I mean, I always loved music. All my friends were DJs or promoters or event producers, stuff like that. And I was always kind of like the wingman. You know what I mean? I was on the sidelines. I was kind of helping out and stuff. Whether it was helping to produce a concert or a club night, or like supporting my DJ buds, or helping throw like these huge dance parties and stuff. And then a few years went by, and then one day I got a call from a friend, and she's like, hey, the owner of my bar just fired everybody, including the DJ. We need someone to come in tonight. We'll pay you, and throw you some free drinks. And at the time, it was like nothing. You know what I mean? But I thought it was like the coolest thing.
Drinks and
drinks.
DJ.
I'm like, are you gonna throw me some bucks and some drinks to DJ the music that I want to?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then the rest is history. Just kind of snowballed from there.
It's snowballed just from.
I mean, dude, this was like at a dive bar in Arizona. Man.
Yeah.
And
speaking of Arizona, I wanted to touch on that because I know you spent some time in Arizona. You did a lot there. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Sure, absolutely.
So talk about the Arizona thing because I know you're pretty big in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, that's where I moved here from. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So I never intended on moving to Phoenix. I mean, I graduated high school, went to visit with a mate of mine, and we just ended up staying, man, for like over a decade.
Okay.
And it's cool, man. It's a little big town, and a lot of cool things going on there, and that's where I kind of got into music. So as far as DJing.
And were you able to hone your craft, get better in Phoenix, or what was it like?
I mean, it was like 0 to 60 for sure. Yeah. I mean, I was promoting, I was DJing, I was everything music related. I was hosting my radio show and stuff like that. So
where do you get inspiration for making your music, or where's your music come from?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. And there's not really one singular avenue that kind of feeds off that inspiration. It's kind of everywhere, man. I mean, I just got back from a couple weeks in Europe visiting, and I was playing some dates out there, playing some gigs, and when you live and you work in LA, I mean, LA's my favorite city on the planet as far as living. I love it so much. Okay. Absolutely. But it's really good to get out of LA because, you can kind of get caught in this cycle of like, okay, I'm in the groove, which is great, you know what I mean? But kind of on autopilot sometimes. Yeah. And, when you step out of LA for a minute, whether it's, heading down to Mexico or going to Europe for a few weeks or whatever, you know what I mean? Just to kind of immerse yourself in that foreign culture, whether it's, hanging out and having a conversation with people that don't live in LA, you know what I mean? That don't care about LA, you know what I mean? And traveling is probably my biggest inspiration, yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit more about venues, because you said that LA is the best place in the world.
It's my favorite city in the world, yeah.
Understandable. A lot of people would say the same. Great weather, sure. How's the music scene in LA?
It's awesome. I mean, it's the entertainment capital of the world. Yep. Whether you're into live music or like DJ culture, I mean, yeah, it's different from, say, like places like Amsterdam or Berlin or, Ibiza, obviously. But there's a really good, I mean, obviously pop music is alive and well here. I mean, this is where most of it's like recorded and stuff. Live music, I mean, every band's coming here to try to, get their big break and stuff. DJs, I mean, everyone's, there's so many DJs in this town. It's great. But there's a really good underground music scene too. That's, there's a core group of people here in Los Angeles that are behind that have consistently been bringing events and curating and producing events that puts LA, in my opinion, on par with these other global capitals.
Okay. Couple questions here. First, I want to say, how would you describe your type of DJing?
Man, that's a really good question. I do not like to be pigeonholed because my tastes are wide and varied. You know what I mean? I grew up on a combination of punk rock and you know, pop and disco and electro. So my DJ sets really reflect that. You know, when I'm doing a 4 or 5 hour set at a club, I like to not stay in any one gear for too long, and you know, keep it groovy, but you know, kind of include surprise elements, you know what I mean, and keep the crowd guessing, and not, you know, I'm not bored. I like to switch it up. So, for example, you know, in a typical set, I could have, you know, soul wax or too many, you know, soul wax mixed into, you know, Prince, mixed into David Bowie or The Clash, mixed into some Biggie, mixed into, you know, The Weeknd. So I like to keep it funky, fresh, not in any one gear, because, you know, because I get bored, you know what I mean? The crowd's gonna get bored too. So
do you ever run the same set, or is it every single time unique?
No, man. No, I never pre-plan a set.
Never pre-plan?
Never. No. I mean, I might have like a general idea
where you're going, but you let it just happen? Yeah,
because here's the deal, man. And I used to tell my students, is I taught DJing for like a little bit, which is really awesome. But, you know, I would tell my students, you know, don't ever plan a set, guys, because listen, you're gonna go into a club with certain expectations. You know, maybe it's a Friday night, and you know it's gonna be cracking, which I'm sure it's going to be, but maybe, you know, it's a private party or a buyout, or like, you know, there's a celebrity in the house, and like the mood and the directions change, and you have to be ready to kind of adapt with that. So, you know, you pick out your first track, you kind of have a general idea of where to go, and you just let the, you know, the rest kind of fall into place.
So so it sounds like to me you kind of feed off the crowd and you go with that.
Absolutely. I mean, you read the room, you play to the crowd, and that's kind of the inherent part of being a you know, a good DJ is to, like, you know, be aware of your surroundings and what's going on, because hey, listen, man, if the people in the room aren't happy, then I mean, you know, you're not doing your job.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the room and some of your favorites or worst. I had a bunch of these questions set up. What would your ideal concert or show be like?
Oh man, you know, that's a really good question.
Set the scene. Are you looking to play a festival outdoors midday? Are you looking to play
nighttime,
an intimate venue that's a small place? Or
yeah, that's a really good question. There's pros and cons to playing small rooms versus big rooms in festivals.
What are they?
Well, for example, you know, you're on stage in a arena. You know, maybe playing with some other DJs or opening up for a band.
Yep.
You know, which is pretty common in the DJ world. And, you know, you're sitting there on a tiny stage with 10,000 people waiting to see this rock band go on, and they're all seated, and you're playing, you know, some sort of dance music, most likely, you know, to kind of mix it up, warm up the crowd. And, you know, the venue's really not really made for, like, you know, maybe you know, dance music specifically. You know, you get that echoing and stuff, but then again, on the flip side, so that could be like a technical, like, well, maybe not the best thing. But as far as pros go, I'm a glass kind of full, you know, a glass half full kind of guy. You know, you have the energy of, like, you know, 10, 20,000 people, which is awesome. But the smaller venues, the more intimate venues, are completely, you know, amazing for a different reason. You know, you're right there with the people. Sometimes people are standing on the stage with you, or, you know, they're dancing right next to you, which is awesome. And you can feed off that energy in a way that is not always available when you're playing in a really, really massive room where you're detached physically from the crowd, if that makes sense.
Totally. I feel like in that sense the energy is not really flowing.
Exactly. I mean, it can flow, but it flows in a different way.
You're, the intimate venues are seriously intimate.
They're serious.
And when you're crushing it or hitting it, you can feel it, like the vibe, everything is right there.
I mean, when you're in a big club, when you have, like, you know, $500,000 like sound and lighting system, you know, that's really cool, but that's kind of creating the vibe more so than the energy authentic of the crowd. Exactly. So there's pros and cons to both, and I like to mix it up.
So you said you don't plan out any shows, really. I mean, you have ideas, which makes sense.
For sure.
Is there anything specific that you do, superstitious wise, or anything, you know, say a prayer, anything that you do that signifies you're about to go on set? You know what I mean? Or go on stage or anything. Maybe you don't, but maybe
that's a really good question. I mean, sometimes I do. You know, I like to kind of either have a nice transition, you know, going into say, like, right after the last DJ.
Okay.
You know, one of the things is, like, showing some respect and letting, you know, the previous DJ's last track play out fully instead of getting on there and just start messing with it. because no one likes that, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes I like to have a little pause, so it's like, you know, it gets people's attention because they think the music stopped for, you know, like an accident or something.
Yeah.
But it's totally intentional.
Like a reset.
Exactly. Like what? Maybe bring the lights down and then just come right in with a banger, or, you know, and the lights, and just hit the lights in a way where it's like, you know, okay, shit's getting real.
Do you play, let's say this night you're feeling this song or whatever you think is the best song you got or the best mix for that night, do you play that coming out of the gate? You save it for the end?
You save it, man.
Always?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, you don't want to show all your cards up front, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're a good poker player. Is there any collaborations specifically that you look for, or if you do collaborate, what would you look for?
That's a good question too. Yeah, as far as collaborating as a DJ, I like to, you know, play with people that you know, have a similar kind of vibe, you know, obviously, and that are just cool, you know what I mean, just good people, positive, you know, like to have fun and play to the crowd and read the room, and, you know, and just have a really good time, you know, and there's a lot of those here in Los Angeles that I have the you know, the good fortune of working with on a regular basis.
You want to name some of them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, my DJ partner over at Bar Marmont, Chris Clemo, he's one of my, you know, he's become one of my favorite DJs in Los Angeles. We have a very comparable style. You know, and I'm always hitting him up, hey man, what was that track? You know what I mean? You know, we do a lot of gigs, you know, like music swapping. You know, Dan Mancini is one of the first DJs I've met since moving here to Los Angeles, and he's one of my favorite DJs as well. You know, I mean, he crushes it, man. He plays literally every night of the week. Really look up to him, and you know, guys like Hobie, Justin Cornwall, I mean, Esley over at Good Times. I mean, you know, Clifton. I mean, that guy's, you know, a hustler too. That guy's booked almost every day too. So, you know, a lot of these people, you know, Victoria Van Dam. I mean, I could go on and on. But
some good shout outs there.
Yeah, man, for sure. But as far as like non-local DJs go, man, as far as collaborating, you know, there's a few that I haven't had the pleasure of working with yet.
If I said to you, you've got one.
Yeah.
Right now, you get to do one. Who's
Man,
out there that you want to do it
that's
with?
A really good question. Too Many DJs have been some of my favorites for...
To just choose one?
Since... they're called Too Many DJs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From Belgium. They're kind of the DJ offshoot of the electronic band Soulwax. So they are like, you know, they've always been the pioneers of the game, man. And they're not spring chickens anymore, but they will like school any newbie EDM DJ that's out there today. Just like, you know.
Are they playing like Tomorrowland and stuff?
You know what? They're playing next. They're playing next. March 4th down in San Diego at Crossed Festival. Okay. On Saturday night, yeah.
Speaking of music,
sure.
We talked beforehand that you basically, what you listen to is like a complete 180, you said.
It's completely, man.
To what you
putting
out there.
It's almost like...
So let's talk about something.
it's almost kind of laughable, I'm sure,
well, let's have a laugh and let's hear what it is that you're listening to.
Yeah,
really.
So when I'm at the house, I mean, you know, it's completely different from... you know what I'm listening to when I'm at work, you know what I mean, and I'm DJing almost every night of the week, so it's like, you know, I'm not going to listen to that stuff when I'm at home because I listen to it every day
so much,
you know what I mean, and I kind of want to give my ears a break, and I'm not in party mode at home, you know what I mean, so I like to throw on a lot of you know, like you know, classic like 60s French pop. I mean, like Serge Gainsbourg. I mean, you can always probably find him on my Pandora station at home on the hi-fi system. I do a lot of like chill stuff, you know what I mean, like the chill station, you know what I mean,
Sirius XM 53.
Totally, dude. Like forget about it.
Killing it. Like chill is so good
all day, and
just
then
leave it.
I mean, I do.
Yeah,
you know,
chill.
that's it, man. It's just like chill, kind of ambient background stuff in my house, and then sometimes, you know, I throw on some of the like, you know, like a little, you know, like Billie Holiday. You know what I mean? Okay. Or even it's like, you know, some Sinatra. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
I'm telling you, man, it gets weird in my house.
No, we got to come over. So to give your ears a rest, interesting. I just want to touch on that.
Yeah.
When you're DJing, do you have a certain headphones or earplugs that you use to like help it? Because it's got to be so loud night after night. How do you kind of eliminate some of that?
You know, that's a really good question, man. And fortunately, I've been able to maintain my hearing and well, you know, over the years. Knock on wood. Or glass. Yeah. So there are a few things that I do. I don't wear my headphones all the time. Actually, I rarely use them. only when I'm in a mix. The booth monitor I only use when I'm in a mix, and then when I'm not, you know, I turn it down. And I only put it as high as I need to. I mean, I know guys that, I mean, when I go in after them, it's literally the volume's turned up all the way, and I'm like, dude, you got to see a doctor, man. You know what I mean? And then obviously when you're not in a club or when you're not at a concert, you know, it's good to give your ears a rest. Like when I'm driving around, I won't even have music playing for like a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get outdoors. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just gotta. And wear headphones or excuse me, earplugs rather, when you're not performing and you're at a concert. You know what I mean? Because I go to concerts all the time when I'm not working, or you know what I mean. I'm always going to some sort of event, and like I went to a concert. I had a Sunday night off a couple weeks ago, and I went to this concert. And I literally was right in front and center, man. I mean, the dude was leaning over me when he was singing, and it was so loud. I was like, you know, you can't do that on your day off. You know what I mean? You gotta throw in some earplugs.
Well, that's a good transition then, because I want to ask you a couple questions as just maybe either if you want to answer them from your just music love or as a DJ.
Yeah.
Do you have an all-time best concert that you've attended or been?
You know what?
Or performed
That's
at?
a really good question, man.
Okay.
Wow. All-time best concert. I was having this conversation this past weekend with some friends of mine. We were out of town on a gig, and they traveled with me, and I kept thinking back to this show. I went to this music festival in October called Desert Trip by the same guys who do
the
Coachella.
Coachella guys.
Yeah, it's like, you know, they call it Old Chell or whatever.
Of course.
So I had seen the Rolling Stones before. But that show was like a perfect concert, man, on every level. And so much so that the person that I was attending with afterwards, we were like, dude, that was amazing. And we're like, you know, and then like a couple days went by and we're like, that might have been one of the best concerts ever that we saw. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And then over the weekend I was like, was that the best concert I ever saw?
Okay.
Because they nailed it on like every level, man. I mean, I remember seeing Empire of the Sun for the first time, and I was like, I was blown away. I was like, the costume design, the set design,
one of my favorite groups.
The visuals, the
everything,
the music, everything. I was like, you know, they're kind of like the Fisher Spooner of today,
I love
but you know, with a much higher production level.
Yeah.
So Empire of the Sun, you know, first time I saw them, the Rolling Stones performing at Desert Trip. I saw Aphex Twin play live in 20 years ago in 1997 live, which I don't even know. You know what I mean? He's the guy's like a recluse. So, you know, I mean, I've literally seen thousands of concerts. It's really hard to say which one is, you know, has been the best, but you know, those three definitely stand out. As far as me playing,
yes,
wow, man. You know, I love traveling. I love playing in Europe. It's you know, playing to strangers in a new land. You get that energy. You know, they're excited to see you.
It's all fresh and new.
Yeah, exactly. They're excited to see you because you're not a local. I'm excited to see them because they're not local, and I'm in this amazing city. You know,
absolutely.
But you know, and I've played some really cool. You know, I've opened up for some really, really cool favorite bands of mine in some really cool venues like. You know, I've done arena shows for like Arcade Fire and like,
maybe you don't have the best concert, best venue.
Sure.
Best venue?
Best venue? I mean, I've never played the Hollywood Bowl, but I would love to.
Hollywood Bowl?
That's my favorite venue here in Los Angeles.
That's a good venue.
Or maybe like the Walt Disney Concert Hall.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Did you... All right, I'm letting you off the hook on that one because...
Yeah, I kind of dodged around that one.
That's all right. Best song of 2016?
Wow, the best song? Jeez. That's tough, man. I mean, I don't really listen to a lot of pop music like on my spare time, but I mean, The Weeknd, that guy just crushes it, man. I mean, it's undeniable. I mean, you know, whether it's like, wow, I never, you know, for fans that were too young to get into Michael Jackson, you know what I mean? I mean, he's like that guy. Wow.
Do you think that he's more like Michael Jackson, or do you think Bruno Mars is more like Michael Jackson?
Wow. I think Bruno Mars' stage presence, he can, you know,
move around
and kind of act, you know, and if he wanted to dress up like Michael Jackson, he could kind of like totally pull it off, but
The Weeknd sound,
that's a tough one. I mean, in my opinion, I think like sonically, you know, when I listen to The Weeknd's latest single with Daft Punk, the one, you know, was performed at the Grammys, I'm just like, wow, man. this is like Michael all over again. But
Yeah,
you know, and
like-
I say that in the most like positive fashion.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. Best DJ in the game.
You know, that's measured by
lot
so
of
many
things.
variables, man. I mean, there's guys who pay, you know, and
I
have
know.
PR companies for this DJ mag listing.
But
and
what does DJ William Reed say? If
hands
you could,
down, Greg Wilson from the UK.
Okay.
Without a doubt. The guy's been doing it for 40 years. I mean, the guy's known for mixing on reel-to-reels from like the 70s, dude. Like no one that plays Hakkasan in Las Vegas has even touched one of those.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that's the reason why.
Sure.
But he's been doing this successfully and with taste and precision for 4 decades, man. And I mean, it kind of, you know, his resume speaks for itself.
he's got the time put in and stuff.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. Now this is the similar question, but this is completely separate of actually what their music sounds like.
Yeah.
What's the best DJ name in the game?
Oh, dude, the best DJ name?
Like, it doesn't even matter if they're terrible, but what's just like the best DJ name?
I mean, DJ Funk.
Like,
I
is
don't
there
know,
somewhere where
DJ
you're just like, man, that's a
Snake.
killer DJ name, DJ
You know,
Snake?
there was this guy that I read about, and he was like, he would DJ, and he was like a chef and a DJ at the same time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but what
I'm
was
not
he-
even making this
No, I
up.
believe you. What was he cooking?
Whatever you want, like an omelet, like whatever you want, man.
DJ
You know what I mean?
Chef. Was that his name? What was it?
It was like DJ Chef or something like that.
Wow.
And I thought the guy was having a laugh, but apparently he's not. And you know, he tours around, he just like cooks and he DJs, and I'm like, hey man, I got to give that a try.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
All right. You're DJ William Reed.
I am.
If you were not DJ William Reed, what would you be? What's another DJ name? Like, what would you DJ name?
Man.
You must have thought of this over the time. Like, what else could I be?
Well, I'll tell you. My first DJ name was I was DJing. I was asked to DJ my very first DJ gig. I was asked to DJ the Chill Tent at this rave
Okay.
in Arizona that my friends were doing these raves. I'm talking like these illegal desert, thousands of people, thousands, totally illegal, stacked sound system, like so legendary now, right?
Okay.
And I don't know how they got away with any of this stuff, but yeah, I was going by Traum, Traum, which is it was German for dream, because I was like, I don't know, I had to come up with something. It was ambient music. I
okay.
spoke German. I was like, oh, Traum, you know?
Yeah.
So I did that, but no one ever knows, because that was like, except like 10 people
Okay.
from like
DJ
15 years ago.
Now at least 10 more people know that. Who's ever watching will know.
Yeah,
DJ
exactly.
Trump.
So then when I was time to say, okay, you know what, we need to actually put, you know, this is like fast forward to 2005 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend's like, hey, we need to put your name on a flyer. DJ Willie Will or something. And I'm like, dude, come on. I can't come up with something kind of corny now, you know?
Yeah.
So I was at a Billy Idol concert. Are we allowed to
Yeah, do whatever you
cuss
want.
on
You
here?
go for
No.
it.
Are we allowed to?
Yeah, go for
okay.
it.
So I'm at a Billy Idol concert, and he's like, you know, and she's texting me like, hey, come on, we got to get these flyers to print, man. Well, like, what's your DJ name? And I'm like, I don't know. And Billy Idol's playing, and he's introducing his band. And he's like, that's Steve Stevens on the guitar, and I'm Billy fucking Idol. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm William fucking Reed. So that's what I texted her, and that stuck for like a decade. I mean, still even now, people are
Right,
like,
because your Facebook page, is it William fucking Reed, but with the C before the
you know,
U?
it might be actually. Yeah, jeez,
think
that's
it is.
it's kind of dated. You
There's
know,
like a couple links there, but I saw one
Yeah.
of those. I wasn't sure what that is. All right, cool.
yeah. So and then the media just loved it, man. They would print it all the time. So that stuck. And then it got to the point where it's like I felt like I couldn't change it because it was like, you know, it was out there.
Well, for the record, I'm glad you're not DJ Willie Will, because
Me too.
That would be.
It's probably taken.
It's definitely taken multiple times over.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's see this. DJing is a career. You've made it your career. If you were not a DJ, what would you be?
Man, you know, that's a good question. I mean, I love music. I love the arts. Something creative.
Something creative.
I'm a, you know, hobbyist photographer.
Okay.
You know, an artist on the side. So I probably pursue some in that. I mean, honestly, I wanted to go into medicine, to be honest. But
What type?
Naturopathic,
Okay.
holistic. You know what I mean? Like heal people with like herbs and stuff.
Okay.
You feeling sick? I mean, you look healthy.
No, I'm not feeling sick.
Okay, good.
Thankfully, this weather's got me good. Have you thought about producing soundtracks for films?
I have scoring, you know, producing soundtracks for films, absolutely. And this is a great market to do that in.
It is.
You know, and if someone called me up and offered me, you know, a gig doing that, I would seriously consider it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Couple more questions. First, I want to shout out to my mom asking a question, which was, Do you, when you're DJing, take requests or no?
Hey, Mom. I do, absolutely.
Yep.
You know, and that's kind of a real kind of point of contention in the DJ circle because...
How so?
You know, there are so many DJs that immediately say, man, I don't take requests. And I get it. Listen, you know, there's kind of an ego element there where, like, we're not human jukeboxes and we don't want to be treated as such. But on the other hand, listen, man, you know, we're there to make people happy, you know. We're not going to go to Hakkasan in Las Vegas and 5,000 or 10,000 people or whatever and walk up and request, hey man, can you play this?
Yeah.
Because that's the equivalent of going to a concert and walking up to the singer and saying, hey, can you play this song? Mm-hmm. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, of course.
But let's say we're at a club, a local club or something, you know, bar, lounge, whatever. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times a night, literally every night, where, hey, it's my birthday or it's my girlfriend's birthday. Can you play this? You know, can you play this song? Everyone will love it. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, same song, asked by like 10 different people. So, you know, you want to make people happy, but at the same time, you know, you want to maintain your like brand identity or integrity or whatever. So it's a balancing act, and I try to definitely make everybody happy when I can. But
follow up to my mom's question,
yes,
which I just thought about. Most requested song you get?
Anything from Beyonce or Rihanna or Drake or The Weeknd. Either one of those four.
Beyonce, Rihanna, Drake, or The Weeknd, the most requested.
Absolutely.
Okay. You said you were teaching for a period there.
Yeah,
DJs.
I was.
You were. Why'd you stop?
You know what? I moved. This was in Arizona, so yeah.
Okay. Would you get back into it or not anymore?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if my schedule permitted. I mean, you know, it's a commitment, but it's during the daytime. I generally have my days free unless I'm traveling. So I would definitely get back into that again.
Let's say we have future DJs watching at some point. They see this. They want to know from you. Give some, like, do you have any tips for prospective DJs, musicians? How do they get into the industry? Not just
Absolutely.
How do you DJ, but like recommendations for them. What should they do? They have no idea what to do. What do they do?
Don't do it for the money initially.
Okay.
You know,
it's got to have passion.
Keep your day job, you know, but if you're passionate about it, and that goes with with anything really,
sure.
You know, pursue it, but find somebody that's really good at it that you are a fan of. And don't copy them, but, you know, borrow some notes from them. Like maybe Calvin Harris is your favorite DJ for whatever reasons, and then you follow his path to where he is today. You know, what steps did he take? You know, chart it out and kind of emulate that. You know, but make it your own, and then treat it as a business, and you know, and just be professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I saved this for the end.
Okay.
And we're towards the end here, but we have the Oscars coming up.
Yes.
And you have you're hosting an Oscars after party.
That's right.
At the Chateau Marmont?
Bar Marmont. That's
at
correct.
Bar Marmont.
Yeah.
And so it used to be at a private residence, yeah?
Yeah, so you know, it's funny. Man, when I'm not working, I like to host parties.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Private parties too.
Sure.
Whether they're like dinner parties or costume parties or holiday parties, and I usually do them on the rooftop of where I live.
Nice. You must live somewhere cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. I lucked out. But so with this particular event, I called it William Reed's like annual Oscar viewing party or whatever, you know, and I would, you know, invite like, you know, maybe a few dozen friends. We'd have food and beverage, and, you know, we'd decorate the place. I'd get some of those corny statues from the boulevard, you know, we get our photos taken in front of a step and repeat, you know, we'd all watch it and kind of, you know, bet who's going to win and stuff. And we dress up too. I'm like, you have to dress up, guys. Like it's like you're going to the awards.
Sounds like you'd be a party planner.
You know, yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? That could be a fallback.
There you go.
So, you know, this year I said, you know what? Let's kick it up a notch. You know, and I started working with Bar Marmont, you know, about a year ago, and
how's that relationship been?
It's been great, man. I mean, you know, it's a legendary. I've been a fan of that place since the first time I've ever heard of it. You know, I mean, I know the history. I'm kind of a history nerd, so I know the history of that place. I can tell you when it opened, who opened it. I mean, like, I can tell you a lot of secrets about that place. So, you know, when I started working with them, you know, it was, you know, it was kind of kismet, I felt like. So, you know, I started kind of bringing these theme parties to their, you know, to them. Like, kind of, the whole point was to kind of bring that element of classy old Hollywood back to that institution, which is legendary.
Oh, yeah.
So with this particular event, yeah, I wanted to, you know, theme it out kind of an old Hollywood style, you know, encourage people to dress up, you know, black tie, award show attire, and that's this Sunday, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's this Sunday, Vermont, and what time's that at?
It starts at 9 p.m., but we're going to start lining people up at 8.
Nice.
So, yeah, get there early because it's a good one. Lot of we've got a lot of people coming out for this.
All right. So and you have a residency at Vermont.
I do. Yeah, every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Yeah. Well, what are your other residencies? You got Good Times at Davy Wayne's Monday.
Monday nights. You know, it's kind of like a -- kind of house party vibe, which is
cool venue.
And it's, I mean, even on Monday, it's
you enter through
packed.
a refrigerator.
A refrigerator.
I mean, come on.
And it's packed on a Monday. You know.
You got you enter through a refrigerator. You got DJ and William fucking Reed. And,
that's right.
You're killing it, right?
Yeah, yeah. My buddy and I, we DJ'd together. They're under a sexy time machine, which is kind of a joke thing, but yeah, we have and then Tuesdays I'm at Harvard and Stone. So we also do live music there too.
Right.
Wednesdays Bar Vermont. Thursdays the Standard Hotel downtown Los Angeles, which is, you know, I mean, iconic.
All good venues.
The weekends I'm at the Parlor Room of Hollywood on Fridays and Chestnut Club on the West Side on Saturdays, and then you know, when I'm not doing that, I'm either doing like my monthly Singles Going Steady dance party, or my summer pool parties, which I'm about to announce here soon.
Start up again.
So yeah.
And when you make those announcements, let's let everyone know where they can find them again on your Facebook page.
Facebook is fine, and you know, Instagram. I'm kind of on there all the time because, you know, I'm just on my phone like boom, boom, boom. And that's at William Reed on Instagram.
Okay.
I do a lot of Insta stories too, so apologies in advance.
Don't apologize.
And then, of course, you can always, from there, kind of reroute to sign up on like some email list, so you can always stay in the know of any type of event that you know, I'm hosting or throwing here in LA.
Which is highly recommended. You guys definitely want to follow this guy, especially if you're local to LA. You could see him all week around town at really cool venues, because those are all venues that have long lines to get into. Good luck at your Oscars party.
Thanks so much. You should come.
This has been awesome. Cool, dude, and thanks for joining us. You guys, thanks so much for watching AfterBuzz TV's concert experience. I've been your host. My name is Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips. And again, thanks so much to DJ William Reed for joining us and giving us so much knowledge on the game of DJing. We will be back sometime soon with another episode.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.